seekers, students of wonder, and yes, even those doubting Thomases and Thomasinas amongst you. I bid you welcome one and all to Dr. Thylacine's Hall of Cryptids. As you've naturally guessed, I am Dr. Thylacine, and of course I realize you have dozens, if not hundreds, of questions regarding me and all of my friends that reside here at the Hall of Cryptids. The mystery beasts. For instance, is Bigfoot real? Is there more than one Scottish loch that serves as home for prehistoric lake monsters? How could perfectly intelligent people in this modern day and age report seeing giant birds, flying pterosaurs, even living dinosaurs? Let me assure you, students of wonder, all these answers you seek await inside these doors. And now, let me turn back our clock to an evening much like this one, when the dark clouds were alight with dancing ribbons of lightning, and a lost, weary traveller found herself unaware and unwilling to learn on this very doorstep.
Don't do this to me, none this weather. And of course it's about to start raining again. But at least I think maybe I saw a light on in the window of that house on the hill. What was that? Who's there? Who are you? I'm warning you, you heavy-breathing pervo. I got pepper spray. Is that your breath? Ugh, that is way worse than pepper spray. What was that thing?
That was our groundskeeper, and from the sound of it, you've insulted him. A pity. He may have even helped with what I appeared to be your car trouble, as he's surprisingly adept in automotive issues.
Who and what are you?
I am Lukewarm, butler for Dr. Thylacine's Hall of Cryptids, which you see before you. Yes, madam. A coelacanth.
But that's impossible. They all died out after the Jurassic Age.
Well, I won't tell if you won't.
But I mean, how is it? And that hairy thing in your shrubbery?
Yes, as I see you are quite intent on playing this game of 20 questions, as you call it, shall I suggest we carry on indoors? Lungfish, such as myself, don't mind dampness so much, but I've been told your kind find it somewhat distressing.
My kind? Excuse me?
Yeah, humans. Well, I assure you I meant no offence. This way, please, madam, before the storm. If you don't mind waiting here, ma'am, I'll return with some towels for you.
Thank you, Mr. Lukewarm. I'm glad we only caught the first bit of the rain. It sounds much worse out there now.
Indeed. Oh, and would madam care for some tea?
Yes, tea would be lovely, thank you.
Yes. Oh, and would madam care for unsweet, or as they say down here in the bayou, southern sweet?
Yes, southern sweet would be fine, thank you.
Good choice, madam. Although why these humans want to pickle themselves like a bony orangutan is beyond me.
Oh boy, what is this place anyway? Lake monsters and abominable snowmen? Brother. Mothman? What the heck is a Mothman? Batman's long-lost stepbrother? The Thunderbird? I thought that was supposed to be a classic car. Well, at least this one's kind of cute.
There, you're not so bad yourself. Yes, I do have that effect on women. It's a curse, really, this dashing charm of mine. But I've grown used to it. In any case, I forget my manners. I'm Dr. Thylacine, resident curator of the Hall of Cryptids. Welcome, young lady. That is Miss,
Naysayer. Nancy Naysayer. Thank you, Dr. Thylacine. I really appreciate the shelter you're giving me here during the storm. You're very kind, but doesn't Thylacine mean a Tasmanian wolf? I thought the Tasmanian wolf was extinct.
The rumors of my extinction have been greatly exaggerated. Likewise, I could say of the reputed extinction of most of my friends here at the Hall of Cryptids. Mystery animals, you see.
Well, present company accepted, of course, but to be frank, I don't believe in Bigfoot.
Oh, what? Well, that's quite all right, my child. You don't have to believe in Bigfoot. He believes in you. And that's the important thing, isn't it, really?
Excuse me?
Oh, my groundskeeper, whom you saw outside earlier. You gave him quite a start with that crack about his breath. Pepper spray, really. Not bad, actually, but don't you mind. He might even have your car starting again before the storm's over.
Well, no offense, Dr. Thylacine, but I don't believe in Bigfoot, the Loch Ness Monster, the abominable snowman, any of those things.
Really? Not a one? Say, you are quite a challenge, aren't you? Well, I do enjoy a challenge. But, as the late, great Catherine Tucker Wyndham once said, you don't have to believe in ghosts to enjoy a good ghost story, after all, do you?
Catherine Tucker, who?
Oh, Catherine Tucker Wyndham, author of 13 Alabama Ghosts and Jeffrey et al. But that's another story. The question is now where to start, here we go. Another author. So Arthur Conan Doyle. yes, that'll work.
Well, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, I know. Author of Sherlock Holmes.
Oh, very good, my dear. And The Lost World, in which a group of British explorers discover a hidden plateau deep in the Amazonian rainforest with living dinosaurs. Not coincidentally, I think. It was Doyle who also said, once you eliminate the impossible, whatever remains, however improbable, must be the truth.
Well, that was talking about detective work, Dr. Thylacine, not a bunch of hairy hulks and lake monsters. I mean, everyone tries to say that the Loch Ness Monster is a plesiosaur, but we know it can't possibly be a plesiosaur because everyone knows that the plesiosaur is all that out.
During the Jurassic? Well, is that a fact?
Oh, thank you, Mr. Lukewarm. This tea is perfect. Southern sweet, just like I like it. Y'all sure know how to make a girl feel welcome.
Wait just a moment! Southern sweet tea and... Y'all? Why, you must be... Southern!
Shocking.
In all this time, I've been prattling along. Oh, poor child, she hasn't probably understood a single word I've said.
No, Dr. Thylacine, I can understand you perfectly fine. It's
Oh, no, I've got this. I've got a book.
No, Dr. Thylacine, really?
Oh, there, yes. Yep, get it. Okay, get it, yes. Here we go. Well, howdy yonder, my little magnolia blossom. And tarnation, if and you don't look plumb tuckered. Ain't no reason for y'all to be a skeert none.
Dr. Thylacine, I'm a college student, minoring in biology. In fact, at the University of Montevallo.
If and you and your folks here,
No, Dr. Thylacine, I can understand every word you say. I promise. You don't need the book.
How to speak Southern indeed. Well, that's 15 bunks down the drain at Stuckey's. I knew I should have gotten those pecan logs instead.
Will there be anything else, sir? Or madam?
I think not for now, Lukewarm. Good evening.
Good evening. I'll just toddle off to the coast of Madagascar then, shall I?
That will be enough, Lukewarm. Thank you.
What did he mean by that? The coast of Madagascar?
Oh, well, you see, the coelacanth disappeared from the fossil record after the Jurassic, the official age of the dinosaurs, if we're to believe what those pesky pop scientists allow us to believe.
Right, I've heard that. But Madagascar?
Oh, yes, Lukewarm's sense of humor, you see. In 1938, a living coelacanth was brought up onto the deck of a ship just off the coast of Madagascar, much to the annoyance of those pesky pop scientists. Now, if memory serves, they had to catch 2 more of them before, boop, they're no longer officially extinct. Funny thing, really.
Funny thing about extinction?
No. Funny thing about what natives said about extinction. They said to the scientists, "What do you want with that ugly fish? We've been catching those things for years, but we throw them back. They taste awful." Best you don't tell Lukewarm about that last bit there.
No, I think not. I think not. No.
So to arrive at the correct answer, you may start by making sure you ask the right question. What most people ask, why did all the dinosaurs die out millions of years ago?
A meteor, a massive asteroid, I've heard some say climate change or disease.
No. You misunderstand completely. Don't try to answer yet. You can't give the right answer if you're asking the wrong question in the first place.
Well, what's wrong with this question?
Too many words. Words that rest on assumptions of theories that cannot possibly be repeated in a laboratory setting, no matter how you try. Just watch as I repair the question drastically by removing one troublesome word. Why? Now, what does that mean?
Did the dinosaurs die out millions of years ago?
Well, my word, look at that. Instead of a how, why complex series of hypothetical shenanigans, we are now faced with a comparatively simple question of either yes or no.
Yes.
No, my dear child.
But no one's ever seen any dinosaurs for...
Well, let's start our research at a rather unlikely place. The Yukon. The year is 1903, and a group of hunters are out seeking moose when they are about to discover that a much larger and far more dangerous quarry is hunting the exact same thing they are. Fresh meat.
You folks sure get a lot of lightning in these parts, don't ya?
Well, we keep it around for dramatic effect.
Of course he does.
Woo-hoo-hoo-wee. George was right about the hunt out here. We may be 100 miles east of Dawson City, but it was worth the trek. Just look at the antlers on that big fella, Tom. Think how good they'll look sitting over my fireplace.
Oh, that's wasteful talk there, James. I'm just plain hungry to eat one of them darn things by my lonesome.
You both hush up. If you don't keep quiet, no one will starve or eat anything. If you two can't keep your big mouths hushed up. Que dommage. Pardon my French. Look at that. What did I tell you to?
Oh, George, please, don't blame me. It wasn't me. I'm telling the truth.
Me neither. Something spooked him.
Oh, yeah, but what's big enough to spook a moose? That big fella's near 8 foot tall.
You two had better stay here. I will see if I can find any tracks of what scared them.
I think we better come with you, George. For protection, that is.
Yeah, for your protection, that is.
Yeah, just like James said, your protection. I wouldn't want nothing to happen to you out there, now would we?
Well, judging from the tracks in the mud, whatever it was had to be at least 40 feet long.
40 feet long and 12 foot wide.
And what's that mark there, George?
Our fellow moose hunter, whatever form he has, it looks like he had a tail over 10, maybe 12 feet long.
Oh, I read about some of them giant crocodiles down in Australia. Yeah, they grow near to 20 foot long. Oh, maybe it's one of them fellas, huh?
I find it unlikely for 2 reasons, though. First, the crocodile is cold-blooded and could never, ever survive a single winter here.
And the other reason?
Crocodiles do not go walking around on 2 feet, much less feet nearly 5 feet long each.
Fellers, I don't feel like hunting moose no more.
Me neither, James. Oh, mercy. I kind of lost my appetite. Dang it.
You two gentlemen are both correct. The time for hunting moose, she is over.
Shoo-wee! Sure am glad to hear you say that. All right.
However, the time for hunting a monster has just begun. Come, my friends. We shall be needing reinforcements and, more impressive firepower.
Thank you for joining us here in the wild, Zalakwa. I trust the men are treating you well?
Yes, Father Pierre, your respect is appreciated. But I fear we're getting dangerously near lands my people tend to avoid.
I trust you will lead us safely, my dear.
Father Pierre, have some coffee, my friend.
George, thank you for inviting me along with this expedition. If this supposed monster of yours is at least half the size you suggest, we are in for quite the adventure.
Well, Father Pierre, we had already planned on you joining our hunting party at Armstrong Creek. Even before we had an encounter with the moose and the unexpected visitor. I am just glad our monster tail did not frighten you away.
Begging your pardon, Father Pierre, but what interest does a holy man such as yourself have in a monster the likes of which...
The likes of which sound like a modern-day biblical Leviathan? I assure you my interest is purely academic. While dragons are indeed mentioned in the scripture...
Wait a minute. Now you think we're after a dragon? We haven't even seen this old creature yet. Just the tracks, that is.
Well, dragon may be an outdated term. I recently read up on an exhibit which had skeletons of creatures whose size alone rivaled that of this monster of yours, in some cases even surpassed.
You mean a darn dinosaur? I thought they done died out many years ago.
George, how much longer are we even gonna follow those tracks? I mean, it's been more than, a week, and ever since we've seen a fresh one.
Yeah, and maybe it wasn't nothing more than just some grizzly anyway. You know, like one of them Kodiaks, for instance. I heard they can walk on 2 feet, a ways.
Bears do not grow on 40 feet long, my friends. But no worries, mon ami. I am sure that it's just the weariness of the day that has temporarily dampened your spirits. Come, taste some of the delightful roast partridge that gives the creek its namesake.
Oh, I'll ain't do that.
Well, I guess nobody's around that's hungrier than our pal Tom, I plumb reckon.
It is the Uktana, the horned serpent of legend.
Well, what did you say, Alakwa? The Uktana?
The Cherokee speak of it. You people may call it a dragon. A picture is etched on the Gawa Rock of Lake Superior. Some may even refer to it as Mitsubishi.
But I thought that was a water lynx, or perhaps a river monster.
They're similar, but one hunts on land, the other drags on weary swimmers to their doom.
Do you see what I'm singing? That is a dinosaur. A damn flame dinosaur.
Not just any dinosaur, look at the horn on its snout. It is a Ceratosaurus. A Ceratosaurus in the Yukon.
Well, that thing's, 50 feet long, easy.
Wait, but it's crawling on all fours, and maybe that's not what we've been looking after. After all this...
Spellers, I lost my appetite again.
Of course. It all just has to be another sensationalist frontier tall tale. They were very popular in the magazines of the day.
No, I agree. Completely. Absolutely. Well, if
what?
Well, if not for one tiny, nitpicking detail in the story.
And what detail was that?
The Ceratosaurus was described as having coarse, gray-black bristles on its back, rather like a wild boar.
What's wrong with that? I mean, recently, if I'm not mistaken, scientists have suggested that theropods or carnivorous dinosaurs had quills or something almost like feathers.
I couldn't help remembering hearing something like that. And recently, you say? Just when did this information spring up? Just a decade or two ago, or over a century ago?
Right. Not very long ago.
So why inject a fabulous detail like that, a shaggy-backed or quilled dinosaur, if you like, into a story that was already challenging every then-current perception about dinosaurs being slow-moving, dull-witted lizards covered with scales?
Right, it's rather unlikely, I'll admit, but everyone knows that the dinosaurs died out millions of years ago.
Oh, naturally, nothing to sneeze at. Everyone except George and his hunting companions and the ancient Ica culture.
The ancient who?
Oh, an ancient people from the Ica province of ancient Peru. They have some rather curious stones which... Oh, why show you me a photograph? Here's one right here. Take it, it's heavier than it looks. Oh, thank you. Yes.
Ugh, well, this can't be real.
No, obviously. This is just a reproduction of one of thousands of originals found in graves of this ancient people, depicting not just man and oversized lizards, but recognizable species of North and Central American dinosaurs. Triceratops, Acrocanthosaurus, Stegosaurus.
Well, even then, the originals would have to be fake.
Once again, that's what the so-called armchair experts say in the hallowed halls of academia. But why would they say that?
Because everyone knows that the dinosaurs died out millions of years ago.
Ugh! I say, does anyone else hear an echo? It's starting to sound more like a broken record.
For instance, everyone knows that the famous Loch Ness Monster photo is a fake. Someone came forth and admitted they had taken part in the hoax.
Oh, yes. Which of the two hoaxes do you refer to?
What do you mean, two hoaxers?
Yes, two hoaxes, and one of them included, as part of the story, their fake monster was attached to a clockwork submarine, a toy that was not commercially available in 1934 when the photo was taken.
Well, that means one of the hoaxer stories was fake.
That means, to be precise, that at least one of the hoaxer stories was fake. Why not both? But, yeah, a prehistoric marine reptile is technically not a dinosaur, so let's not get off the subject, young lady.
What do you mean, Dr. Thylacine? It is all the same subjects. Crocodiles, sharks, and now, yes, coelacanths. All were fossil contemporaries of the dinosaurs, and they managed to outlive them, and are still around today.
So why not a marine reptile in Scotland's Loch Ness, or Loch Morar?
Loch Morar? Never heard of it.
Well... Ah, yes, Loch Morar. You simply must visit it. It's lovely. Not so touristy like Loch Ness. And, well, there are plenty who blame the local board of tourism, claiming they came up with the whole monster lake in the story. But not Loch Morar. It's more secluded, like Loch Ness was before they built the road around the lake. Not coincidentally, I think, when more of the sightings began. People could see the famous loch from the road, and its mysterious inhabitants. But the water's the problem in Loch Ness, you see.
What's wrong with the water?
Oh, it's filled with this troublesome substance called peat, which makes visibility underwater almost impossible. Sonar researchers for the beast have come up with some rather interesting results, but not Loch Morar. It's less of a visual challenge. The water is so clear that one fellow in a boat on July 8th, 1969 looked straight down, and he could see the individual leaves on the sandy bottom of the loch. And then, oh dear, what else does he see down there? Why, I do believe that would be Morag.
What's a morag?
Morag is the affectionate name the locals give to the resident monster of Loch Morar, just as her neighbour is known as Nessie.
Well, that thing must be 20 feet long, judging by the size of that boat.
Indeed, that's just what Bob Duff, the passenger, said. He described it as a monster lizard about 20 feet long, staring straight up at him with cat-like eyes as he passed over. It might have been even longer, as he was looking straight down and would not have been able to see much of the long neck described in other accounts. But the clear water enabled him to note a peculiar detail mentioned in no other account I've heard.
What detail was that?
The creature had 3 digits on its so-called flippers.
Boy, would you two keep it down? I'm trying to get a better look at this great beastie with you two jabbering like a couple of...
Beastie? I'm getting out of here, mate.
No, driver, turn back. Go back. I want to get a better look at what I just seen.
I know what you just seen, and I don't want no closer look at it, laddie.
Yes, Well, he's had probably a closer look than most, but 2 boaters on the loch later that same year had even a closer encounter still.
What happened?
Late on August 16th of 1969, around 9 p.m., when it was still somewhat light at that time of year, 2 boaters were calmly fishing when they saw what at first looked like an overturned boat on a collision course with their own vessel.
Look out, Duncan! We're about to hit something! Turn off the motor! Do you hear me, Duncan? Turn down that radio and listen to me, please!
Wait a minute, Will. I can't hear. Let me turn down my radio.
What is that thing?
Hey, that big more that. You need more than just the ones you were to do with lots of that. Oh no, they didn't shoot the poor thing, did they?
Poor thing! Some imaginary monster. I didn't think you believed in these things. Why would you care about them?
Well, I don't. But I guess some monsters have feelings too, don't they?
I suppose, if it makes you feel any better. The boaters said they didn't see any blood. They were rather nervous at the time, so even an experienced marksman could miss a target at such close range under such circumstances. But they reported it was more likely the noise of the rifle and not any injury that frightened poor little Morag away.
I'm relieved to hear that. I'd hate to hear that a harmless monster got hurt.
Even if it was imaginary? I don't suppose you'd even believe me if I told you of a story about a child who was actually protected by a monster, would you?
Well, it's like you said. I don't have to believe the story, right? I can still enjoy it.
Well, Miss Naysayer, maybe you are learning something this evening after all.
Time will tell. Now it's your turn to tell.
Tell? My turn to tell what?
The story about a child who was protected by a monster.
Oh, yes, of course. The story begins with a little boy and his brother walking home from school. They had to pass through a section of woods. Normally, this daily routine was uneventful until one day.
My brother and I always liked to play in the woods growing up. Well, most of the time. There was something different about that old patch of woods near my house covering the vacant lot of the cul-de-sac. The area was less developed back then, not like it is now. My brother and I would often take a shortcut through the strip of woods when we were running late, but only as a last resort. Come on, Jerry. Mom will kill us if we get home late for supper. The feeling we would get there. Ben? I don't like going through here, especially when it gets dark so early. I can't help but feel like we're being watched. Hey, look at this, Jerry. Come on, Ben, let's go home. I don't like it here. I can feel the hair standing up on the back of my neck. We're not supposed to be here. Not right now. I can just feel it.
Now, what do you suppose this is?
What? That's a pile of sticks, you dodo.
Nitwit, look closer.
Well, it kind of looks like a nest of an animal or something.
Or something, all right. There aren't any animals big enough to... I'm telling you, Jerry, it was just some homeless guy. A big, hairy homeless guy. 8 feet tall and with reflective red eyes.
Now, boys, you best be getting on home now before that there Bigfoot starts roaming around. If you know it's good for you.
What did you say, Miss Edna?
Now, don't you be acting so surprised. I wasn't born yesterday. Why, we had us one of them there boogers wandering around the edge of our neighborhood back in Decatur, down in Alabama.
You mean a big, hairy, homeless guy?
Now, boys, I didn't believe it when some policeman tried to tell me what I thought I'd done seen. I knows what I done seen, trying to pretend there ain't no such thing as a Bigfoot. Don't you go telling me what I thought I done seen, rummaging around in my garbage at 4 a.m. That weren't no 7-foot hairy homeless guy, and it weren't no Captain Caveman neither. I knows what I done seen.
Miss Edna, are you sure?
Now, boys, looky here. They ain't apes. There's people like me and you. Just you leave 'em be and they'll leave you be. Don't you cross 'em and you'll be fine. Now, boys, you best be getting on home now, like I said.
It's just so weird, Jerry. Our parents have spent our whole lives telling us monsters don't exist. And we're just supposed to believe one's shown up right outside our own backyards?
So since Miss Edna gave us some good advice, what else could we do but take it? We tried to make sure we steered clear of that patch of woods afterwards, and all went well until late one afternoon, just before dark. It so happened I was following the sidewalk, just on the border of the woods, when his neighbor's dog came out of nowhere and lunged at me. It was a cross between a German Shepherd and a Bull Mastiff, but for all practical purposes, it looked like the hounds of Baskervilles to me. It kept lunging at me, backing me into the woods, and then I heard a familiar sound behind me. To be honest, I wanted to know what was behind me, but at the moment, I was a little more concerned about this aggressive dog in front of me. Little did I know that a more than casual observer had gotten quite interested in my drama unfolding, just on the edge of his territory. That's when I turned around. Less than 3 feet behind me, there he was. But all I could see at first were these immense hairy legs. Knees, in fact. Next thing I know, the Bigfoot shoves me aside and... He saved me. I don't know how long I stood there, staring back in disbelief as he disappeared back behind the shadows, repeating those 3 words back to myself. He saved me.
What did you do to my dog?
Me? I didn't do nothing to your dog, Fuzzle Fergus. Your precious dog almost attacked me.
Well, something happened to him. He came tearing into the house, tail under his legs, and he dove under the bed. And I just got him out. What did you do to him, you little creep?
Okay, fine. You know what, Fuzzle Fergus? It was the Bigfoot. The ones that would lock back there. Your stupid dog tried to attack me, and the Bigfoot saved me. He scared off your flea-ridden mutt.
Disrespect.
Next month, there was a sold sign on the lot. Not much longer after that, it was all gone. All the woods on the lot were gone. I didn't have to guess who bought it. I never got the chance to thank him. Even if he wouldn't have understood a word I said, I'd give anything to try and tell him that I had nothing to do with the destruction of his home, that I owed him my life. So wherever you are, if you're still out there, thank you.
That poor creature saved that little boy's life, and then that jerk of a neighbor just bulldozes away its home in the woods. Just like that.
Yes, I have to agree with you there. It was unfair. And sadly, I think that's one of the reasons the authorities will never allow the public to believe in Bigfoot.
What do you mean not allow us to believe in Bigfoot? There are too many footprints to be just hoaxes out there in the woods where they might never be found. And what about the Bigfoot in the famous Patterson film?
Oh, yes, the recent evaluations of the Patterson film. In one case, they revisited the site and managed to find the original spot with computer simulations, the figure in the film had to be well over 8 feet tall. Men in an ape suit indeed. And when they digitally enhanced the footage, one could see the mouth of the figure actually opened and closed. Rather impressive mask, notably for 1967, don't you think?
Yes, but why wouldn't the authorities allow us to believe in Bigfoot?
Well, take the spotted owl and ivory-billed woodpecker, for instance. Officially extinct? However, if there were proof that they actually inhabited an area of forest, thus they become an endangered species, and their habitat becomes an officially protected area, much to the annoyance of the lumber companies and real estate developers, wouldn't you say, my dear?
Yeah, I think so.
Yes, look at that map where all known Bigfoot sightings occurred. A lot of angry loggers and shopping mall developers there now. Officially unemployed, hmm?
So what can we do? What, Dr. Thylacine?
Oh, just believe, my child, believe. Don't lose that sense of wonder you discovered tonight. And if someone tells you they've seen an unusual animal, well, don't be so quick to scoff them. True, they might be pulling your leg, as you Americans say, but there's a chance. They just might be trying to share a meaningful experience. Just listen.
Give them the benefit of the doubt?
No, yes. And oh no, yes, there's one more thing. Listen. Listen carefully, child.
Yes, Dr. Thylacine?
I mean, don't you hear it? The storm has stopped. I'll get your coat.
But wait, no, there's so many other stories. What about the Thunderbird and the Mothman or the Lizardman of South Carolina? Surely you got something to say about that, huh?
Well, sounds to me like you've heard them already by my guess. What do you need me for? Now, there's your coat. You finished your tea, as I can see. Ah, that's lovely. On your way, please, child. What do you think I'm running here, a museum or a motel?
But I want to know more, Dr. Thylacine.
Yes, it's all here in our Hall of Cryptids brochure. Take an extra for a friend. There's no extra charge. We might even have a coloring book. I think I've left that around.
Well, thank you, but what about my car?
No. Oh, don't lurk in the shadows. There's a good fellow.
Sorry about that there. Didn't mean to scare nobody. Excuse me, miss. I got your car back up and running here, didn't you know? And take it easy on that there engine, or she's gonna keep a flooding on you, honey.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate your help, and sorry about the comment earlier.
Hey,
you know?
it's no problem. You seem like a nice kid, so you're ready to go.
Thank you so much. I don't suppose there's anything I can do to repay you.
Well, now that you mention it, don't suppose you got a breath mint handy there, do you?
Actually.
Ew.
Thank you, Dr. Thylacine, for everything I've learned tonight. I don't know how to repay you.
Well, although you were skeptical at first, I think you've repaid me enough by listening to our stories and believing.
I want to believe, Dr. Thylacine, and I do believe.
Oh, how sweet. Well, I do believe I spent over 4 hours getting my hands all greasy in that crummy engine of yours. So, if you're thinking of a way to repay me, I could tell you.
Oh, Saskatoon, I think I'll miss you most of all.
Hey, what are you doing getting all mushy on me there? Oh, talk about a crisscross in Bella's personal space, don't you know?
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought you...
I mean, not that I mind all that much, but if you're gonna get all huggy-feely, how's about giving a guy a heads up next time?
And I took the liberty of preparing some of that tea you enjoyed so much earlier this evening.
Thank you, Lukewarm. I didn't think you cared.
Oh, I didn't, and I don't. On your way, madam.
Oh, don't listen to him. I think all of us will hope that you might visit us again soon, and of your own accord next time.
Oh dear, here we go.
Anytime you're on the road, looking out through all those trees, gazing at those blank spaces on the map between cities, make sure you save a sense of wonder on which of all of your friends from the Hall of Cryptids might be gazing back at you in turn, wondering.
What is that weird hairless creature?
How are these creatures still alive? Surely some of them must be over 100 years old.
Well, we don't drink, we don't smoke, I have them do 40 push-ups a day, and don't allow them to eat fried food.
Like allows you to order a spicy fries every once in a while is gonna kill a guy, didn't you know?
I think it more reasonable, ma'am, that these are the descendants of the creatures you've heard about this evening.
Yes, that seems much more likely. Yes, that makes much more sense.
Well, Miss Nancy Naysayer, I did want you to have this to remember us. Oh, wait, here, just down here. Oh, kill it, shit, take it, it's heavier than it looks. Wow.
One of the Inca stones! Oh, I can't possibly take this.
That's quite right. You can hand it over, please. Thank you. Smudgy fingers.
Oh, shush it, lukewarm, please.
But she said so herself. She can't possibly take it.
And it's mine to give, so I said she can.
Oh, very well.
Thank you, Dr. Thylacine. Whether anyone believes in you or not, I do. The world has some space left for wonder yet. And thank all of you for believing in me, and also that I can share your stories with others.
I couldn't have said it better myself, madam. Now, please, go home.
Excuse me.
Oh, and do drive carefully.
Well, I wanted to thank all of you for coming out, and never forget. Oh, now that I couldn't have said better myself. Never forget, as I told Nancy then, never forget your ABCs.
ABCs?
Always be curious. In the immortal words of Dr. Albert Einstein, the important thing is not to stop questioning. Curiosity has its own reason for existing. Thank you all so much for coming.
We all here? You? No? Okay. Left. Right. Woo! Thank you.
Hello, George. Ça va?
Bravo.
Thanks everybody for
Thank you.
coming.
Thank you.
Please feel free to come up and take pictures with our cast and our wonderful puppets by Mark.
Father! No.
Weird Geppetto thing we have going.
What did I get myself into?
Hey, give auditions like this. Hey, what do we say?
Hashtag Hall of Cryptids.
All around, everybody knows.